4.03 million people and infects 186.36 million. Welcome back. The news in details. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi directed to continue the development of the public business sector's assets, especially those related to the land areas, through coordination between the Ministries of Housing and Public Business Sector. This came during the President's meeting on Monday with Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli, Minister of the Public Business Sector Hisham Tawfiq, Minister of Housing Asim al-Ghazar, and the President's Advisor for Urban Planning Amir Said Ahmed.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi on Monday encouraged the optimal use of assets belonging to the public business sector in line with the principles of good governance. He underlined the importance of ensuring the best management of assets to protect public funds and state-owned lands in cooperation with the Ministries of Public Business Sector and Housing. This came during a meeting he had on Monday with Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli, Minister of Public Business Sector Hisham Tawfiq, and Minister of Housing, Utilities and Urban Communities Asim al-Ghazar. The meeting also dealt with the following up on cooperation between the Ministries of Public Business Sector and Housing on making use of assets in the best way possible. The Sisi was also briefed on Egypt's efforts to survey the untapped assets in the public business sector as part of the government strategy to achieve the best economic and investment returns from the state's resources nationwide. During another meeting on Monday, President Sisi instructed to boost coordination among the state bodies and companies of the private sector to expand the usage of natural gas-run transportation means, especially for buses and trucks, as well as developing the infrastructure of charging and maintenance stations. The Sisi's directives came during his meeting with the Director of Vehicles Administration of the Armed Forces, General Kamil Wafai, and Assistant Director of Vehicles Administration Engineer Karim Ghabour. The President also directed to expand production of public transportation buses and vehicles that work by electricity, with cooperation between the Ministry of Military Production and the private sector. Presidential spokesman Bassam Radi said that the meeting reviewed cooperation between state and private sectors in producing heavy transportation gas and electricity run trucks in a way that meets the local market's needs. Radi added that the meeting also tackled measures of localizing the manufacture of transportation means and food industries to reach the highest rates of domestic production of cars and public buses to cope with future horizons of these industries worldwide.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi witnessed on Monday the swearing-in of Councillor Hussein Mustafa Fathi as the President of the state's Cases Authority. Presidential spokesman Ambassador Bassam Radi said that the President met Councillor Fathi after taking the constitutional oath. He stressed on the role of the authority in deepening the principle of justice in a way that preserves the rights and protects the nation's interests. Ahead of the swearing-in ceremony, the President granted Councillor Abu Bakr Siddiq, the outgoing President of the State Cases Authority, the First-Class Order of the Republic in appreciation of his efforts while in office. Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri delivered on Monday a message from President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to the European Council President Charles Michel. During his meeting with Michel in Brussels, Shukri discussed bilateral relations and several regional issues, including the Ethiopian dam file, the latest developments in Libya, and the peace process in the Middle East. Earlier, the top diplomat attended working breakfast with the EU foreign ministers, where they tackled a number of files, including the Ethiopian disputed Nile Dam, the Middle East peace process, and the Libyan file. Meanwhile, Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri held another meeting on Monday with the European Union Commissioner for International Partnership, Jutta Urpilainen. The two sides discussed the EU, the Egyptian cooperation, and the bloc's development policies. The Foreign Ministry spokesman described the Egyptian-EU partnership as deep and historical. Also on Monday, Shukri met with the NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg on means of boosting the Egyptian-NATO partnership and enhancing cooperation in a number of fields, including cybersecurity, combating terrorism, and illegal migration. Also, during his visit to Brussels, Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry met with Israeli counterpart Yair Lapid. During the meeting, Shoukry stressed on the need to break the deadlock between the Palestinian and Israeli sides with the aim of relaunching the peace process to reach a comprehensive and just agreement based on relevant international decisions and UN Security Council resolutions. Shoukry also called on the Israeli government not to take unilateral actions to undermine chances of maintaining peace and security in the region. The foreign minister referred to Egypt's reconstruction efforts in the Palestinian territories, as well as the aid provided to the Palestinians and the ongoing cooperation with the Palestinian Authority. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli held a meeting on Monday to follow up on the implementation of the infrastructure projects for the communication networks in the new administrative capital. During the meeting, Minister of Communication and Information Technology Amr Talat reviewed the main aspects of the plan to transfer all the ministries and the governmental institutions to the new administrative capital. The Premier stressed on the great importance given to the administrative capital project by the country's political leadership, describing it as an exceptional project. The Prime Minister called for intensifying the work to conclude the first phase of projects in time for the scheduled opening. Minister of Health Hala Zaid held a press conference on Monday and said that Egypt has become a member of the African Medicine Agency. Speaking during the press conference, Zaid said that Egypt would work to make the agency an edifice to serve the African nations. The minister also expressed Egypt's support for African countries in their efforts to provide medicine and vaccines for their people. She noted that after Egypt achieves self-sufficiency in anti-coronavirus vaccine, it will make the new production available for other African countries. Sudan's Foreign Minister Mariam al-Sada al-Mahdi expressed